Is one of the worst parts of a hurricane. Our eyes immediately go to, or how fast are the winds?
Sure.
But the winds can help contribute to a worse storm surge as well. So a storm surge is an abnormal higher rise in sea level associated with an area of low pressure. So it's not just with tropical storms, but it can also be with nor'easters. We see it sometimes as well. And it has to do with this, the persistent gusty winds. And this storm surge can be worse if the storm is larger. It can also be worse if the winds are greater. But when you have the wind blowing in one direction for a very long time, I mean, just think about it. That water has nowhere to go but to be pushed up onto shore. And there will be parts of Florida around Sarasota, all the way down through Fort Myers, and maybe even close to Naples, that could see an 8 to 12-foot storm surge. And that could be enough to kind of cover the top of some of those beachfront homes. So again, these are the areas that are going to be the most affected, and it'll really depend on where exactly the eye makes landfall. Just to the south and east of that location will be where you see some of these numbers, but south of Tampa through Sarasota, Fort Myers, Bonita Springs through about Naples has the potential to get up to 8 to 12 feet. So this is a reasonable worst case scenario, which you got to plan for because it's kind of a high stakes forecast. Even right now, look at Key West, seeing winds gusting up to 80 miles per hour. This is not a computer model. This is a live observation and seeing wave heights of 26 feet. All right, let's take a look at where we go from here. Hurricane force wind gusts already by tomorrow morning for areas like Marco Island, and conditions just head downhill through the day. The storm expected to make landfall again in that window from south of Tampa through around Fort Myers in the afternoon to early evening. After it makes landfall, the storm moves inland. It's cut off from its source of energy, which is the warm water, so it starts to weaken. But it's still pouring, it's still gusty, and there is still the possibility for tornadoes in some of the outer rain bands even after the storm makes landfall, and that'll continue through Thursday as well. And the southeastern part of the United States, also not including Florida, but the Carolinas, watching this storm closely as well for some flooding rain. And you'll see some of that flooding rain not only where near the storm makes landfall, but all the way up through Daytona Beach and Jacksonville. You know, some of these numbers here are off the charts. I had to create, you know, my legend goes up to 25 inches. We're beyond that here, wherever the storm makes landfall. And this is just one computer model, but also showing again some of that heavy rain continuing up into the southeastern part of the U.S. as well. All right, some showers to the northwest of us from a cold front approaching. It's a nice, pleasant, refreshing night ahead with overnight lows in the 40s to right around 50 degrees. Tomorrow looks like a great day, mostly sunny skies, some late day clouds as a cold front comes through. There's a slight chance for a sprinkle from that. Most towns do not see one, and then we're a bit cooler. Thursday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday, we have a lot of clouds. This is actually from moisture from Ian, not the storm itself, but just kind of associated with the tropical system starting to head north. There's a chance, I can't entirely rule out the chance for a couple showers over the weekend if that moisture moves a little bit farther north than I'm anticipating right now. But either way, it doesn't look like anything significant from Ian here for us in Connecticut, guys.